Linear equations with integral coefficients. So what are linear equations with integral coefficients? So linear equations have coefficients in them and constant numbers, like 4 and 6. So today we're going to be doing how to do that. So the first step is to add the 4, because we want to remove it. We want to put the 4 on from the left side to the right side. And so we move it by setting that to 0. You see that becomes 0, and then we add the 4 on this side. There we go. And we also want to move the coefficient on the other side. We want to have the coefficients on one side and the constant on the other. It doesn't matter which side, but as long as they are on separate sides. So here we will subtract the 5x and then move it here. And so now I'm going to rewrite it. It's going to be negative 5x plus 7x, and it's a plus because there's nothing in front of the 7, and so therefore it's a positive. If there was a negative, if there was a minus, then it would be a negative. And now we have 6 plus 4, which you probably already know what that is. So we're going to simplify or combine like terms on both of these sides. So negative 5x plus 7x is equal to 2x. And also include the equal sign, and then 6 plus 4 would be 10. And so now the final step here is to divide the coefficient by itself and also the other side, because what we would do to one side we have to do to the other side. So 2x divided by 2x becomes 1, and then 10 divided by 2x is now the answer. X equals 5. So that's the first one. Okay, so now this is another example, and this one has all coefficients, and you might be asking yourself, well, now what do I do since it's all coefficients and there's no constants in them? Well, in here, what we do here is the same thing as we did before. We subtract 3x and we move it to this side. This now becomes 0. I'm going to rewrite it. So now we have negative 3x plus 2x, because remember there's nothing in front of the 2, plus 5x equals 0. And so now what we do here is very easy. We combine like terms, and these two would be negative 1x, or just negative x, whichever way you want it, plus 5x equals 0. And so now that would be 4x equals 0. And we combine we divide the 4x by itself, and when we do one side, we do the other. And of course, whenever you divide 0 by any number, or any number by 0, it equals 0. So x equals 0 in this equation. Alright, so this is another example. We have 7x plus 7 equals 2x minus 8. And obviously, what we want to do is we want to separate the two sides, the coefficient and the constant. Again, it doesn't matter which side, but as long as we do it. And just for people to understand, a coefficient is the number that has an x, that has a variable next to it, like the 7x, the 2x. It is not a 7 and it's not the negative 8, because those are constants. A coefficient is just the number with the variable, okay? So now we have 7x plus 7 equals 2x minus 8. So now what we do is we want to set them on their respective sides. So here I'm going to do plus 8 to set that to 0, and then I'm going to add the 8 right there, and then I'm going to move the coefficient, so negative or positive 7x is going to be subtracted by itself. That's going to be 0. And then I'm going to move it to this side. And now I'm going to rewrite it so it could be organized. You don't have to always do this. Once you become a pro at this, you will automatically understand like everything, and you'll simplify and combine the like terms, without having to rewrite it. But I want to make sure it's very, very clear. So now we have 15, because 8 plus 7 equals 15. And now we have 2x minus 7x. So now here, this would be, if we all understand coefficients and integrals, we would know that this is actually negative 5x. This is not positive 5x or anything like that, or negative 9. It's just negative 5x. And so now we divide that coefficient by itself. As you can see, that's 1. And we cross that out so it's organized. And then 5x underneath the 15, so 15 divided by 5x, and now we have the answer. So x equals negative 3.